welcome back to Cold Waters. So, we are on a tankers and tenders mission, and we don't know where the submarine fleet is coming from. All we know is it's going back to the Soviet coast. So we're gonna have to get up close and personal with Murmansk and Arkhangelsk. I want to avoid that submarine patrol. Oh, that satellite might have us. Okay, well, there was fuck all that we could do there. Okay. So, they're not happy with us. Satellite recon has spotted the enemy cruise missile submarines and several attack submarines preparing to sail within 20. They're going to be transiting the North Atlantic. Okay. So we're basically looking for submarine contacts, and I suspect we've just blundered into one. Let's double check what we've got. Ooh, hello. So we're happy with our loadout, and we've blundered into a submarine contact bearing 121. So we're gonna go get our crew straight away to action station.
Lost contact. Last rig ship for ultra quiet.
Okay, 121. Let's bring us round 121.
Come left to 120.
The developers of this game apparently don't know the difference between bearing and
Con sonar new contact bearing 230. Designated Sierra 1.
That's not the same contact as we thought it was. Let's keep on one.
Sonar new contact bearing 207. Designated Sierra 2.
Okay, so we've got a very strong layer in duct.
Con sonar new contact bearing 088. Designated Sierra 3.
I'm gonna call this a yikes right here. So we're gonna try and identify
Con
these.
Sonar new contact bearing 119. Designated Sierra 4.
We had an inkling that they were submarines, so let's just try and see if they're submarines. I'm not actually convinced Sierra 1 is.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 4. Last bearing 120. Contact faded.
Yeah, so Sierra 1 is not a submarine. It simply isn't. It's a surface ship. The question is it a combat surface ship or a civilian surface ship?
Con, helm, steady course.
What's this? So Sierra 1's close to us. Oh, it's not a ship, it's a wow.
Sierra 1 is classified as biologic.
Okay, so what have we got? So Sierra 3 is the contact that we originally picked up, I suspect. Or is it Sierra 4? 120. No, Sierra 4 is the contact that we originally picked up. Sierra 1 is collateral. Sierra 2 is
sonar. Sierra 2 is classified as
wild.
biologic.
This probably actually fits the bill for a submarine. You see here the initial 4 stages are quite close together. Actually, I say it's a submarine, but I realized I was actually looking at a destroyer, so it might just actually be a destroyer. Or a surface ship. Actually, that was pretty close. What's this? So there's a good match to Sierra 2 in this one. No match here, no match, no match, no match. So, Victor. What submarine is this? It seemed so much like a submarine, but I'm now not convinced that it is. Okay, sorry about the little pause break there.
Sonar, Sierra 3 is classified as merchant.
So basically, we've got 4 contacts around us. We've got cargo shipping, blue whales, and we've got Sierra 4, who we now can't hear at the minute. I suspect he might actually be in the lair. So let's bring us up to 300 feet. And we're rigged for silence, so we're as quiet as we can be. And I want to see if we can't hear this submarine.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 4 bearing.
Ooh, that's much closer. Okay, so let's just have a look at Sierra 4. So we're going to look at the signature here, and I suspect this is a submarine. I just don't know what submarine we are looking at. It looks like a Tango.
Sonar, Sierra 4 is classified as submerged submarine.
Okay, and it is above the layer. Fine. We're here. We're oh god, we're hearing it massively, and it almost can't hear us at all. Right, we're hearing it pretty good on passive, so I don't need to worry too much about picking up on this. This solution's going to pick up really quickly, so let's just time compress, see if we can't build a solution. He's going southbound. Okay.
Cool. Dive at 300 feet, dive I.
I'm going to go below the layer here.
Make depth 400 feet, dive I.
Con, helm, steady course.
Okay.
Con, dive at 400 feet, dive I.
So I'm going to set a torpedo to run above the layer, and we can still hear him below the layer, which is pretty good. So I'm going to fire that 3 kiloyards down range, tube 1 away.
Shoot tube 1, aye sir.
Con sonar.
Oh
from Sierra 4.
He heard it. He heard the launch transient. Right. Okay. All right. Emergency deep. Let's go.
Make turns for 30 knots.
Let's make sure. Oh fuck! We lost the wire. So we're putting our active sonar on. Okay, this torpedo might not get him actually.
Con sonar.
Passing 500 feet.
We will evaluate the
Passing
situation.
600 feet.
So we'll put
Con
our
sonar.
active sonar
Switching to
off.
passive search.
Passing 700 feet.
And this is just because if he
Passing 800 feet.
actually no.
Con sonar.
Keep
Switching
active
to
on.
active search.
Passing 900 feet.
So basically, if he turns
Con
all the
Passing
way,
1,000 feet.
no, the torpedo's gone. Right, that's fine. So we can now
1,100
focus
feet.
on torpedo evasion.
Passing 1,200 feet.
1,200 feet. We're gonna level us out
Passing
at
1,300 feet.
1,800 feet. So he's now firing off noisemakers, which is fine.
Make depth 1,800 feet, dive I.
And we want to come perpendicular to his torpedo, so I'm going to bring us
Con
slightly
left
more
2,
towards the
0,
northeast.
6, 7, helm I.
So he got off one torpedo before going into
Con,
torpedo
helm,
evasion.
steady
His
course.
maximum speed, being a very slow diesel
Con,
boat,
maneuvering,
is
making
60
turns for
knots.
3,
So
0,
he's not outrunning this at all, this torpedo at all. His only hope is to start vomiting out noisemakers and sweeping the area and just playing around the noisemakers in the hope that this torpedo will run out of fuel. But it's got a lot of fuel on board, so it's not going to run out. So we can just see his submarine coming out of the shadows.
Con sonar.
Con, dive at 1,800 feet, dive I.
It's definitely a Tango class. We definitely made the right call there. And this torpedo's struggling to find him with the noisemaker. So even with all the noise he's making,
Con sonar. Noisemaker bearing 165.
and so that's all he's going to do is as soon as the noisemaker canisters are ready, he's going to keep firing them out and seeing how he gets on. He's not getting away from this one. Nope, that's him. Done.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 4. Last bearing 168. Contact breaking up.
Boom, bitch. Man, the sea's really deep here. Cool. So we've got one torpedo, which I
Con
think.
sonar. Torpedo in the water. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 219.
I was just about to fucking say that we're in the clear.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
So he fired it above the layer. It's detected us. It's presumably come down.
Come left 2, 0,
It's
3,
presumably
9,
come
helm
down
9.
underneath the layer now. But I think because it's locked onto us, and now it's
Con,
not
helm,
locked onto
steady
us.
course.
We're right on the edge of its detection. So I was just about to say we've got away from this torpedo. Yikes, but we actually hadn't. So, yeah, here we go. Okay. So, let's just take a quick look. So when I had my active sonar on, I didn't have any other submarine contacts. Okay. So the torpedo was approximately here. It's now 4 kilojards away, so we're now well outside even what a UGST torpedo would do. And I was really tempted. I had my fingers on the decoy button to fire out a decoy to try and get away from it. And that would have actually been terrible because the decoy would have made so much noise, the torpedo would have gone straight for it and then been in a position to pick up my submarine. So I took the risk and waited, and I think that's paid off. Let's have a look and see what we've got here. So it's definitely doing circle patterns, but we're far enough away. So I want to clear my baffles, which I'm going to do by coming bearing 090.
Come right to 117, helm I.
So that's heading 110. I do know the difference between bearing and heading. And we're going to come ahead slow and see what we can hear.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Okay. So we can see the torpedo. It did detect us, and now it can't detect us
helm,
anymore.
steady course.
So it's just doing
Con
circles.
sonar regained contact on. Sierra 1, bearing 2. Con sonar regained contact on.
Con maneuvering, making turns for 5 knots.
So we've regained all of our contacts, plus this one torpedo, which literally detected us and then didn't, and now it's doing little barrel rolls around in circles, which is fine. So we're just listening out to see if there's anything else. Let's head up to
Make depth 4, 5 feet, dive by.
periscope depth, just to see if there's anything else in the layer. The torpedo found something, so it's good to me because it's miles away from me. It's not good for this whale. Yikes.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 1, last bearing 2, 1, 1. Contact faded.
I mean, it's less that it's less that it's the contact's faded and more that the contact is giblets. But I don't think we've got anything else. So
Raise the
ESM mast. No ESM contact.
Dive at 4, 5 feet, dive by.
Got nothing on radar. Cool.
Lower the ESM mast.
Okay, I'm happy with this, so let's go secure from action stations. Leave combat. 1 tango. Yeah, well, we kind of got intercepted by this rather than anything else. So what we're waiting for is we're waiting for this fleet of Russian submarines to come by. So I'm just patrolling the Norwegian Sea borderline, the Greenland Sea. Oh, I wonder if that's it. Let's go full speed southbound. Osuka. Right, let's see if we can. We blundered into them at full speed. We really didn't want that. 20 knots. Yikes. Okay, sea conditions is a strong surface duct, which we're probably going to be under, and a very strong thermal layer. So sea conditions are good. New sonar contact heading 305. Happy with everything that's loaded. I'm expecting submarine contacts, not ship contacts. So let's go. Action stations, rig for silent.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Come right to 302.
Actually, no, do you know what? This is a good bearing, just in case we
Come
can
right
pick
to
it up on this.
230, helm I.
Okay, let's go to
Make
100
depth 4,
feet.
5 feet. Make depth 100 feet, dive by.
Okay. Oh, so we've got one contact. It's practically directly above us. Yikes. But this isn't what we're looking for. This is definitely a surface ship of some variety. Let's see what it is. That wasn't too. Oh no. Yes, it was. It was quite far away. Yeah, there we go. It's a small
Con
freighter.
sonar Sierra 1 is classified as merchant.
So that's it, just behind us.
Con sonar new contact bearing 282, designated Sierra 2.
So this is the one that we were looking for here. Ooh, hello, Sierra 3. Nice. Right, let's just see what we've got. Nope, it's not that. So we're hoping for guided missile submarines. This could be biologic because it didn't match. It didn't match up with anything here. So let's just quickly. Yeah, biologic. Okay.
Con sonar Sierra 2 is classified as biologic.
And Sierra 3 also biologic.
Con sonar Sierra 3 is classified as biologic.
Let's head 305 to us because this was the
right,
original bearing. Oh shit! I've just alt-tabbed out the game.
6,
Yikes.
helm I.
Okay, so it's 305. So let's try and close down this distance as much as possible. Let's rule out anything else on the
Make
surface.
depth 4 by feet, dive by.
And we just have to be mindful of aircraft just because we are we were quite close to a surface fleet. So what happened was there was a surface fleet and a submarine fleet coming down. The surface fleet peeled off and we went after a submarine fleet because that's our target. We don't know if it is our target, but we're after submarines. But we're still close enough that, you know, potentially they could come to their aid and have one of those rescues. What's the seafloor? Seafloor at 1914 feet. Okay. Excuse me. Ah, okay. We're just pulling up now. So we're gonna go
Raise the
full
ESM
raise with
mast.
the ESM mast. ESM no contacts. Let's now rule out
Raise
any
the radar
surface
mast.
contacts.
Con, dive at 4 by feet, dive by.
Okay, so Sierra 1 now master. No additional contacts. Okay. Fine. Sea conditions are relatively good at 95. The real sea is much quieter than this unless there's a storm. But in game this is like
Con,
good
helm,
sea
steady
conditions.
course.
So let's now get us below the layer. And we're gonna bring us right the way down. Let's just see what we can hear. So we're gonna go new depth 1500
Depth
feet.
1500 feet, dive by.
Okay, so we're gonna lose our contacts above the layer. So there's still other things over here. So we basically got like whales. Hang on, we just saw something. Right next to this whale, I don't know how clearly you can see it in the video. Let's see. Oh shit! Hang on, I got tabbed. Yeah, I don't know how clearly you can see it, but actually there's a shadow of a submarine right next to this whale. So we've accidentally just YouTubed our way to to discovering what's wrong with it. But the captain of our submarine does not know that there's another submarine there. All we know is that we had an unknown.
Sonar new contact bearing 280, designated Sierra 4.
And now we know. So we've got Sierra 4, and it's very, very quiet, which would suggest to us that it is a submarine. It's got a doublet, so immediately we're thinking a submarine. It looks like a November, but this one isn't a perfect
Con
lineup.
sonar Sierra 4 is classified as submerged submarine.
Which makes me think it could be an alpha, because the alpha is very, very similar in profile. Now see, this last line is a good match, but this one isn't now, so I'm not actually comfortable it is an alpha. Sierra 2 could be Sierra 1. Okay, let's call it a Sierra.
Con sonar Sierra 4 is classified as submerged submarine.
It's not a good match to Sierra 2, but we'll put it at
Con
Sierra
sonar
2 just so that
4
we're...
is classified as submerged submarine.
Sierra 2 is a more capable submarine, so this way we're just doing... So it's all the way up here. Okay, right. What I'm going to do is below the layer, so I want to hide my launch transient within the layer, and then dive well underneath it, actually. If it's facing away from me, I'm in its baffle, so I might actually get away with it either way. Okay. How do we want to play this?
Make depth 4 by feet, dive by. Make depth 100 feet. Dive I.
Okay. Let's just watch for its tick.
Con sonar lost
So it's
contact.
going northbound.
Sierra 3, last bearing 291. Contact faded.
Okay, so we can still
Con,
hear it.
helm, steady course.
So we know it's rough direction, but we don't have a clue about its distance.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 4, last bearing 285. Contact faded.
I have to keep the wire for this one. And just in case I can't, I'm gonna put it deep. So I suspect it's over with the whales. And it's traveling northbound. So basically I want to give it the best chance of hitting the submarine without hitting the whales.
Ship 2-1. Aye, sir.
Because that's an expensive use of our resources otherwise.
Con,
Okay.
Dive at 100 feet. Dive I.
So we're going to do what we've done in previous videos here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go full deep on the ballast, but only half deep on the planes, just to give us the best possible chance of maintaining the wire. Because I want to get below the layer as quickly as possible in order to start regaining contact on this possible Sierra, possible Alpha class
sonar
submarine.
regained contact.
Passing 200 feet.
Okay. So we've got 5% solution on it, which is pants.
Passing 300 feet. Passing 400 feet.
Okay.
Passing 500 feet. Passing 600 feet. Passing 700 feet. Passing 800 feet.
Okay, so we're just going to bring us now down to
Passing
1,500
900
feet. 1,500.
Make depth 1500 feet. Dive I.
So we've got a good idea of where these whales are. So I'm confident now that we're past them. So I'm going to activate this torpedo.
Con sonar new contact
Sucra.
bearing 294. Designated Sierra 5.
Okay, and we're just going to head it in the general direction of this. Let's now look at Sierra 5, because we've got some kind of new contact. There's a doublet, so this is a probable submarine contact. And this lines up perfectly to an
Con
Alpha.
sonar Sierra 5 is classified as submerged submarine.
We've got a good signal in the Sierra 4, so we're still going to hunt this Sierra 4. But we could pick up either of them, because we know their position to us, but what we don't know is their distance to us. So Sierra's moving north, Alpha's moving south. So the Sierra...
Dive at 1500 feet. Dive I.
Oh shit, I left that on. Okay, so we've got something, and one of them has gone active. So the Alpha can't
Con
hear
sonar
us.
noisemaker bearing 292.
No. Right, manual guidance. So we're going to manually guide this towards a noisemaker. So we've now got active sonar, but neither submarine, assuming I've identified them correctly, can hear us.
Weapon acquired.
So I don't know what we're going for. This could be Sierra 5 or Sierra 4. I actually don't have a fucking clue. So, this is a great thing about campaigns, because like in the single missions, you know what you're up against. It's like if you're in the duel, it's one submarine. But like, I don't know, there could be 50 submarines here, and I've just not detected them. I don't know. If I have a second, so it's now on automatic guidance. Both my hands are here. And it's turning, it must be pretty close.
Con sonar
So we've got second noisemaker.
293.
So I'm plotting its course. I expect the next one's going to be southbound. So as soon as we come off countermeasure homing, we're going to be in a pretty good position.
Fire control. Weapon.
Con sonar Sierra 5 is cavitating.
Okay, so this is Sierra 5 that we're up against. So this is the Alpha class. And he... Oh! I thought...
Last bearing 293. Contact breaking up.
I thought he did it. I thought he just by a hair's width got away from it, but he obviously triggered the proximity detonation, and it has completely screwed him up. So we're pretty deep at the minute, so
30 knots.
I'm going to secure the ship from silent, go ahead full, reload this torpedo, and I want to get out the way of his
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 2. Last
Actually, do you know
bearing
what?
2, 8,
No,
4.
let's use this
Contact
speed,
Make depth
do the
4,
same
5
thing.
feet, dive I.
We're going to go above the layer. So 100 feet.
Make depth
Set this to
1,
run
0,
below the
0 feet,
layer.
dive I.
Okay. So in order to avoid cavitation, I want to do this quickly because I know there's a torpedo coming my way. So I want to do this quickly but without cavitating if at all possible.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
So we're now coming up 700 feet. Reduce speed ahead full.
Make turns for 20 knots. Maneuvering aye.
Okay. Just monitoring it. 500 feet.
Con maneuvering. Making turns for 20 knots.
400 ahead standard.
Make turns for 15 knots. Maneuvering aye. Con maneuvering.
Ahead 1/2.
Make turns for 10 knots. Maneuvering aye.
And that should do us until we get to 150 feet.
Con
Oh.
maneuvering. Making turns for
What?
10 knots.
So we can now hear a torpedo. Ahead slow.
Make turns for 5 knots. Maneuvering aye.
Oh, of course!
Maneuvering.
Okay.
Making turns for 5 knots.
So the Alpha's a fast submarine, but if memory serves me correctly, it's not a particularly capable. It's not particularly what's the right word here? It's not particularly
Tube 2. Aye, sir.
its sonar systems are not great. So what happened is he actually didn't hear it at all until the torpedo locked onto him. Planes 15, no, planes down 15, not up 15. Yeah, so he didn't hear the torpedo at all until it locked onto him, which meant that he has counterfired northeast, not southeast, which is where the torpedo actually came from. So that's interesting. So that
Con sonar regained.
Passing 200 feet.
good. That was a good guesstimate from myself, if I do say so myself. Okay, so once again, we're just going to hit this
Rig shift
nice
for
and
ultra quiet.
slowly. And this Sierra doesn't know that anything's here. He's possibly heard this. He's probably heard the active sonar of the Alpha class, but he has.
Passing 300 feet.
So he knows something's up, but he probably doesn't quite know what's happening. So we're just doing everything we can to maintain this
Passing
wire.
400 feet.
We're half.
Passing 500 feet.
Yeah.
Passing 600 feet.
We're-
Passing 700 feet.
Half deep on the planes. We're gonna go full deep on the planes just in a moment.
Make depth 1500 feet. Dive I.
Oh, and that made us lose the wire. Shit. Well then. Okay.
Con, torpedo room, tube.
Come right to 305. Helm aye.
I think we're in a good position to be able to try and close
turn.
the distance to
Make
this.
turns for 30 knots.
Because
Maneuvering
I think we are in Sierra 4's baffles, which
maneuvering,
means he's
making
probably
turns
not
for
going to hear us
30
so well.
knots.
So we're just gonna accelerate time and keep us going as quickly as possible towards Sierra 4.
Con sonar. Noisemaker bearing 306.
Okay, it might not be necessary.
Make
Let's
turns
just.
for 5 knots. Maneuvering aye.
So we've been going so fast we've not heard if there's any counterfire.
Con sonar regain.
Con helm. Steady course.
Okay, so he's done one noisemaker.
Con sonar.
Con maneuvering, making
Has
turns
he just done
for
2?
5.
Yeah, okay. So we know where he is. He's over here. And our torpedo seems to have got him. Oh, and I was right originally.
Sonar lost contact. Sierra 4. Last bearing 304. Contact breaking up.
Apparently, even though one of the numbers didn't match up, it was in fact a November-class submarine, something that we didn't quite know. So let's just bring us all
Come
the way
right
around over
to
here.
303. Helm aye.
So this poor submarine's going straight for a nosedive right into the seabed, and there we go. Okay.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Come right to 304. Helm aye.
So the question is that them? Oh,
Con
shit.
helm. Steady course.
Okay, that torpedo is the wrong
Come
distance,
left to 242. Helm aye.
but it's coming right towards us.
Turns for
So
30.
we're just gonna get the hell out of Dodge.
Maneuvering aye. Con
As quickly
maneuvering,
as
making
possible.
turns for 30 knots.
Okay. So it's coming on a path down that way, and so its closest path, its closest approach to us is probably going to be about 5 kilojards. So I think we're all right.
Con sonar.
Make turns
Okay.
for 5 knots. Maneuvering aye.
Now then,
Con maneuvering,
Come right to 282. Helm aye.
I'm right in what's that, eh? Yeah, okay, we're
Con
miles away.
helm. Steady course.
Okay, so let's just have a look and make sure that there's no contacts that we've missed. So Master 1, Sierra 2, Sierra 3, we've had no whales die on us this time. But we've also not had any guided missile submarines, which is a good sign. But this was also not our target. We've got nothing else, so let's stand down from... oh. No! Are you shitting me? This was our target! But we just didn't detect it. Ah! Oh, that's bad. Oh, that was so bad. So we fucked up. Oh, we've completely fucked up. So I decided that I was so confident because the noise conditions were that good, and we just didn't hear anything else, that we'd found everything that there was to be found, and I had no vessels nearby, which is kind of like a cheat thing. The game won't let you leave if you're within the grasp of an enemy submarine, which is kind of like a cheat way that you can tell if you've got an enemy submarine nearby that you've not detected. But it wasn't nearby, but I hadn't detected it and it got away, and it's destroyed a whole load of ships. So slap on the wrist for me. Yikes. Oh dear. Anyway, that'll do this episode of Cold Waters. So thank you very much for watching this fuck up of an episode, and I'll see you next time. Bye.